So he came home and he was like, babe, I lost my job. I'm like, all right, cool. So a month later, like the bills, it was time for the bills or whatever, and I'm like, the bills due, babe, or whatever. And he was like, okay, I'm not working. And I'm just in a month, like it's all kind of hustles. You could have been doing something or whatever. So I told him, I said, look, if I pay these bills, are you going to pay me the money back? This man had the nerve to tell me, why should I pay my wife back for paying our bills? I told this man from day one, my money is my money and his money is our money. Why should I spend my money paying the bills? Like, no, he should have paid me back. So that's when I decided, like, I can't be with this man no more. So I had texted his homeboy. Like, we all cool. I texted his homeboy or whatever. We went together. We left. I met up with him. And we was chilling, we was drinking or whatever. And I started venting. I started getting emotional. One thing led to the next. I did not purposely mean to do what I did with his friend. But things happen. Like, y'all understand what I'm going through. So, his friend ended up giving me some money or whatever. And he was like, babe, look, don't worry about it. Handle whatever you got to handle. Like, his friend was every single thing I desire in a man. Like, everything I desire in a man. And, ain't nobody trying to hear my side. Ain't nobody trying to hear.
Welcome back to the podcast. Beloved, this is indeed your brother Big VJ checking in. Today's conversation, we're going to talk about leadership. Leadership, right? And beloved, I can submit to you that paying bills is indeed a form of leadership, right? So there are three types of men. There are three types of leadership techniques, and we're going to talk about all three of them in today's conversation. So, this may not be for the babies, because we're going to use some colorful language, right? What do you think about the clip? What do you think about the opening clip, right? You got a man and a woman, you got a husband and a wife, and then you had a financial challenge. You know what I'm saying? And I thought it was interesting that just after 30 days, of being out of work, the man was tapped out. Hubby had no funds, but when hubby tapped out, the best friend tapped in. And not only did he help the man's wife out by dropping some money off, he gave her that two-piece combo. He dropped some money off and he dropped some dick off as well, right? Before you know it, beloved, the man's wife had her ankles behind her head, and she said this is the kind of man that she was looking for all along, to step to the plate and handle business. So this is why we always say this, beloved. We always say, mate selection is going to be the most important decision you're going to make in this world as an adult, right? It's just, who you decide to date and have children with or marry, right? Mate selection is going to determine your place almost, because you can get with somebody, man, you can be that dude scholastically and academically and financially, but if you get hooked up to the wrong person, or vice versa, with the ladies too, that person that you get hooked, they can tear your ass down. So when we start, we get into the game of mate selection, that's a serious science. That's nothing to play around with. That is a very, very serious science, right? Let's talk about leadership and paying some bills real quick. How about we do that? And this is the time of the year for growth. This is a transitional period when you live in the hills of North America, in the territory that we call the United States, because, see, this time of the year is when all the babies, they go through a transition, right? From middle school to high school, transition. From high school to college, transition. And then some from college to the real world, transition, right? Or from high school to the real world, or from high school to the military or to vocational. It's all transitional, right? When you make that transition into being an adult, I will always encourage that a young man, especially, that he walk into that his first place by himself. You go into that first home, or that first duplex, or that apartment, or I don't know, maybe he get an RV and he just thug it out that way through a mobile home or a condo or whatever he decide to do it by yourself first. Because, before you even get into mate selection, when you stay on your own, you begin to learn your financial self. You become at one with your financial self. You know what I mean? And then once you understand your financial self, you go out, then you start dating and courting, and then you bring a woman into your kingdom, whatever kingdom that you got. But all along, you pay for this entire kingdom by yourself. You do it by yourself. You're learning yourself. Your own rent, your own groceries, your own cable, your own Netflix, you pay for your own car insurance, right? You got you a job, you pay for your own health insurance through your employer. You just paying everything on your own. Every year come around, you get your own title, you get your own tag. You're on your own. And then you bring a woman into your kingdom, right? So the wheels is already set in motion. So you don't have to worry about her income because you already established yourself as a man. That kind of guy, beloved, is called a type A guy. That's a guy that pays 100% of his bills by himself. Type A. A type B guy is a guy that he develops his financial relationships through partnership. He split bills, right? So before he get a woman and he starts splitting bills, you can see him in his earlier days. He got a roommate. He come into his adult world. He's a roommate, and he get a cousin, he get a brother or sister, sibling or something like that, or he get a partner. You know what I'm saying? And then they get their own place together and they split the bills down the line. All right. That's just a type B brother. He's used to like splitting bills. And then you can see that if he graduate that position, he get a wife, they go 50-50 on the bills. You see what I'm saying? Then you got a type C brother that's used to paying 0 to 25% of the bills. This is either Pookie them that just got out of jail, that just got out of jam. He's not productive in the marketplace, so he can't make no money. So he's sleeping on the couch. He's trying to find his way. He can't really contribute financially, or this is the brother that he makes probably about $35,000 a year, $45,000 a year, but he got with a woman that's a big fish. She making a grip, and because she's making a grip, she's probably like a district manager somewhere, a store manager. You know what I'm saying? She's probably in entertainment, fashion somewhere. She's making a grip. She's some executive. So when they get together, he can only contribute maybe like 25% to the bills. Cause he can't, he might get paid a light bill around that motherfucker, but he can't that's almost like, if one of your uncles or one of your partners, they go marry Gail. They go marry Oprah homegirl. You know what I'm saying? And dog making 60, 70 grand, he making good paper, right? I'm saying it can get you, depending on what state you live in, it can get you a decent life, but you with Gail. So what you gonna, you might get paid a light bill around there. But your value is going to come through like all other men's values through the vein of protection. Because her high dollar ass ain't going to go down there and deal with the mugger or the intruder or the robber. You're going to deal with that. All of us as men are going to deal with that. So we always bring protection to the table. But when it comes to that bread, either going to be type A, type B, and type C, right? Beloved, I was raised to be a type A guy, and therefore I am. I just pay the bills. My great grandfather, my granddad, and my pops, they raised me this way. My pops was kind of like a borderline. He was kind of like a borderline chauvinist. He's kind of like easygoing today, but back in those when I was coming up, he wasn't like he was more of a chauvinist then than he is now. He kind of eased up a little bit. And I was raised to never look for a woman to help you financially. Don't even look for it. It's your name. right? We start talking about going to the realm of marriage. Well, hell is your name. It's not, your family name is like, it's not half of your name. It's 100% of your name. So you just recruiting somebody to wear your name. So how could you kind of like go 50-50 with somebody that's wearing your name? Now, I guess, I would think in the perfect world, shit, if we gonna split the bills, well, you might as well split the names. I should have a hyphen on my joint, like, you know what I'm saying? Kirkwood Johnson, like Kirkwood hyphen Johnson, because we got a partnership, we splitting the bills, we might as well split the name. But I was raised like, I ain't splitting my name. It's a slave name, but it's the family name, is ours. This is what we carry, and nah. I ain't doing that. So I gotta be a type A, because I'm not splitting my name. I'm gonna stand on my own name, right? I had to be about 12 years old, and even though my pops is a single father, he always talked to me. He would always say, like, he would begin his sentences with, "When you get your family," you know what I'm saying? When you get your, he'll start that. That's how he start. Hey man, when you get your family, when you get your family. And my pops is like a get money kind of dude, you know what I'm saying? So he's a get money guy, but he's like he's a street guy. He thinks from a business kind of like a hood. He from the projects, so he got like this, his parenting style is like, I would classify it as like, it's like a never-ending business seminar, man. The way he talked to my sons and shit is like, it's really, it's like, this is his parenting style. You know what I mean? He always taught me, he's like, yo, when you get your family though, he's like, never get into splitting no bills with no woman. He said, don't never get into that shit. He said, because the difference between you and her is she can always go back to mama house, son, you can't. That's how he put it to me. Now I'm young, I kind of get it, but I don't get it. So I'm like, okay. The first time it come for a circle, because it came for a circle to me twice. When he told me that, I had to be around like 18. So me and my mom, we got like a very dope relationship. Like, we get on the jack with each other. And when we on that jack, like, we may shoot the shit for about an hour at least. Hour and a half. We just start talking about it, whatever. I tells my pops like, yo, I'm gonna stay with my dude for the summer. He don't care. He like, okay, he don't really care. I shoot over there, and the first thing I notice, boom, I go back to my own room, beloved. Boy, that motherfucker's a den. My bed and shit, all that shit gone. There's a couch, there's a TV in that motherfucker. I'm like, yo. But I thought about what my pop said. Hey, a female can go back. You talking about being in a relationship, you married with a shorty. If y'all go through some changes and y'all go through some challenges, she gonna pack up some clothes and shit. She got somewhere to go. We talking about, especially when you from the village. An original woman, mama house, daddy house, grandma and granddad house, or her sister house, she always got somewhere to go. You don't. The way this society is set up, it's not that open for men. You know what I mean? Your nephew is acting a fool and his uncle or your brother put him out. You know what I'm saying? Shit, he ain't got a bunch of you finna open the door for him because he's a man. He's an original man. The sisters always gonna have somebody to open up the door for them, right? Now, that's the first time that came to my mind. The second time is this. Me and my wife, we've been married like 24 years. It'll be 25 years in September, right? I could take it to my mother-in-law house today, though. Today, my wife got a room in my mother-in-law house today and been married for 24 years. I don't. I don't got a room in my old bird crib. So, I would tell young players this. The only game I can give you, beloved, is what my pops gave me and what my granddad gave me and what my Hey, man, you got to get you a spot and you pay for it. And then you have the woman come in with you. You pay for it. I don't care what she makes. I don't care. I'm talking about your day-to-day quality of life where you rest your head at. You pay for that, beloved. Now, it all really comes down to what make you sleep good. Now, if you can sleep good, beloved, going 50-50 with a woman, that's you. If you can sleep good doing that. Unfortunately, though, I've seen horror stories with that. I've seen brothers with wives. Both of them are making money. They go through some changes. They split. Dog can't afford that house. He got 2 Benzes and a Range Rover. Them cars go back. That 4-wheeler go back. And then he got a downgrade. He can't afford to live. So I was raised on this wise. If you can't pay everything in there, you're living above your means. Your quality of life is above your means. You can't even afford it. You're one argument away from losing that shit. And we talking about a woman who's emotional. Women are more, they're more emotional because their biological makeup, it makes them that way. So like, check it out. Man, I think my kids had to be about 11, 12 years old. I think we was in Rite Aid or Walgreens or something. I can't remember, man. I got my sons and shit with me, right? So we walking around like Walgreens or something. I can't remember. Walgreens, Rite Aid, somewhere. But wherever we was at, it had an aisle 6. Aisle 6 is the feminine hygiene aisle. And that fucking aisle is packed from the beginning to the end. They got all kind of feminine products, feminine hygiene, feminine this, feminine that. So I'm showing my sons this. I'm like, yo, I'm finna show you. I'm finna give you some free game, right? I'm like, yo, look at this shit. In every retail store in America, there's an aisle 6 dedicated for feminine products, right? I said, there's no dick aisles up in here, sons. Look around. And that means that a woman's body goes through so many changes that it's a whole aisle dedicated to her. Now, we know that this soul, this spirit, and this mind, and this body, it's all intertwined together. If that body is feeling a kind of way, it's going to affect that mind, right? You don't depend on somebody with a whole aisle 6 dedicated to them. You don't depend on them for no money now. You don't depend on them splitting no bill with you, making sure they, for your peace of mind, because there ain't no dick aisle. So ain't nothing gonna go on with your body that's gonna biologically change so much that's gonna throw you pay your own bills yourself. You invite a woman into your kingdom and you leave it like that. That way, if she just so happen, unfortunately, and we don't want her to do it, if she just so happened to leave your kingdom, your quality of life does not change. Now, sometimes you see our type B brothers that pay 50% of the bills. They go 50-50. It's like, for the most part, you see brothers do this because it's like they're in fear almost. They have a fear that one day if they get hurt at the job, they get fired, they get laid off, that they need somebody to help them, like pick up their slack. They're worried that somebody's going to pick up their slack, right? A type A man is more like a brother that it's like he's on the football field and the team is down 3 points. He's the quarterback. He got the ball. He wants the ball in his hands at all times to make sure his team wins. He doesn't trust, you know what I'm saying? Like, he don't trust the kicker. He go like, I'm gonna have to do this myself because I know if I do it, it's going to get done. He's a pressure person. He depends on himself. It's the what if that makes him go. So he's the type A guy, right? Which means that he's not looking for nobody to catch his slack financially. So he's going to have that 6 months, that 4 to 6 months of living expenses. He's going to have that put to the side, right? He's going to get a bigger life insurance policy just in case something happened to him. His family got to be straight. But check it out now, because he's going to get a 6-figure policy, because he got to have a big policy to take care of his absence, right? In order to get a 6-figure policy, he got to pass that health screening. That means he got to take care of himself. So he's going to have to take care of himself all around the board and financially to take care of a family. The type B guy, he's a great guy. He can just sleep good with a woman paying his bills with him. And that's okay. If somebody is doing that's okay. That's just something I can't sleep with. Because I was raised not to even look for them for no financial help. Because, I personally don't even think that a woman should be, women can do what they want. I don't want to sound like a chauvinist, but I think 40 hours a week, for a married woman is a lot. That's a lot of damn hours to me. I'm like, damn, 40 hours a week at a job? That's a lot. In the same breath, I don't think there should be a such thing as a married man working 40 hours. Like, that's not enough. Like, how you gonna have a good life if you just working 40 hours a week? And you live in America, right? So to live a decent life, you have to at least do 60. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I ain't trying to be funny, but shit, I do 60 hours on the regular, and then if I stay over, I do 72 hours. I'm talking about 1 week. So I'm like, I look at the dudes that work 40, I'm like, well, how are you making it? Well, they're not really making it. They need some help. And I don't, that's not something I put in a female's hands who got an hour 6. Because maybe I think this way, I was raised not to look for them for financial help. You can't depend on a woman. She's a materialistic vein anyway. So she's going to be more apt to spend more and do this old kind of shit with the money. So if she's working, I mean, let women do what they do with they check. Let them buy the curtains and find bedroom sets, and they buy all these fancy rugs and shit, and they take out the light fixtures, they put chandeliers and shit up. Let them do that kind of shit, but like your quality of life of, I don't know. Nah, man, I couldn't sleep with somebody, and that's just it's a mentality thing. Now let's go back. Some of our brothers, again, they come off the porch through a roommate. Sibling brother, they go get their first apartment, blase, blase. Even if I stayed with one of my cousins, let's say, I move out of my parents' home and I stay with a cousin or a sibling or a partner, I still would have to pay everything there. Because I wouldn't trust one of my homeboys. He run around with his baby mama, they go on a bunch of vacations. He feel like he ain't been around, he ain't got to pay. Or, you got one of your other partners, he loses his job. I just feel like, well, if I got the ball in my hand and I pay everything, I don't have to worry about it. You see what I'm saying? That's just this make me sleep better. I was 21 years old when I got my first apartment. I was 21. I never went back to any of my parents' homes. When I was 21 years old, I went to the leasing. I'm down at the leasing spot. I'm signing for my lease. I walk into my first home at 21. I never had a roommate. I never had a sibling stay with me. I never had an uncle come down. I never had a parent stay with me. I just stayed by my own. Then you get you a wife, and then you bring her into your kingdom. You know what I'm saying? And I thought I was that deal. I'm on the 4th floor. You know what I'm saying? I used to go on the balcony and piss. No, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't share all of this, but shit, I used to be drinking and, kicking it and have my partners over, and I used to go on the balcony, man. I used to piss off the roof. I thought I was him. But again, I never got into that because I was trained. Don't you get into that. Don't you split. My pops, when I was a young teen, don't you split no bills. No, don't you even get involved with that. She can go back to mama house, beloved. You can't. The last brother, the type C brother, is a brother that, he could have just got out the can. You know what I'm saying? He could have been fresh out. Or some of our brothers, they have a difficult time finding their way through this maze that we call the United States. Because some of us can make it look easy. Working, making money. You know what I'm saying? Because there's pros and cons and everything. And some of us can make it look easy doing it by yourself. Even doing it with some help, like a type B brother. And then some of us, they find it's a little bit more difficult finding their way. Right? Just me though, beloved. It'd be difficult for me to be married to like a Gail, like Oprah's homegirl. You know what I'm saying? A shorty with bread like that. Cause I'm like, I feel a little weird with my quality of life built on a woman's current emotional mentality, if that makes sense. You see what I'm saying? She could just, I couldn't feel comfortable. Now, brothers that do it, they do it. All 3 types are valuable. right? We're all valuable to our families, to our churches, to our mosques, to our households. Depending on what type that a woman pick or marry, that man is going to be a type A or type B or type C based on how he could sleep good. You know what I'm saying? I would feel so vulnerable if you a type C guy and that woman get into a financial crunch and you can't do anything about it. I mean, Gail get into a crunch, right? You with Gail or you with Vivica Fox, you know what I'm saying? And you with one of these shorties, they making good money, and you the boy toy, and you marry him. Now I don't want to say boy toy, I don't want to be disrespectful. You the man in their life, let me say that. And they go through some financial hardships, and you was just there. And it's in your nature to make sure that that woman is okay, because whether we want to believe it or not as men, or admit to it or not as men, being the head of a family, being a jefe, a captain, a skipper in your household, beloved, being the general you're the biggest servant there. When a man fall in love with a woman, it's different, because a woman's love is more like an ideal. They fall in love with the pieces of your calling that you do the best towards them, because they are always in a position of feeling this kind of love from you to them. How you treat them and their children, it go back to the nest. It's like a nest kind of like deal, where they just you provide, you protect, you instruct, you avenge, you revenge. And because you shine that light on them, they have the attention, validation, and security to love you. So really, in a relationship, the man could be easily replaceable than the woman, because when a man fall in love, it's not like a man's love is more like violent. It's more like it's like, I found a partner that I'm willing to die for, kill for. So it's not the most happiest time. I don't want to say falling in love for a man is like dreadful. I don't want to use the term dreadful. It's more like it taps you in with responsibility, because you're like, damn. It's not like you found a woman, you love her, but you like, damn, because you like, I can deal with women, I can just bullshit and party, and this is more relaxing for me. But now that I'm in love, I feel more protective over her now, and I'm more concerned over. I mean, like, shit, I'll kill for her. So it's like, now I look at the situation like, let me say it this way. I feel as though, beloved, that a man and a woman, when they say they fall in love, is not the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Men can be easily replaced, I feel like. Because the woman's love is, she's the earth and the man is the sun, right? Because the sun, he's the masculine energy, and she represents the feminine energy, and the feminine is to receive, right? But the man's is to push out. She's receiving light, heat, and energy, just like the same relationship that the sun and the earth got. It's the same thing. So if you as a sun leave, a woman could accept another sun to come into her life and provide light, heat, and energy, because she's going to receive attention, validation, and security as the earth. She's pulling energy, she's receiving energy, she's the feminine, but you're pushing it out. The act of falling in love for us, it puts us at the head of our calling, which is to provide, protect, and instruct, avenge, and revenge. And we're operating in the masculine with this, so we're pushing energy out. So we can't keep, a man is not going to fall in love a bunch of times throughout his life. It's not really possible, because he's not going to find a bunch of women he's willing to die, kill for. He'll find a bunch he'll fuck. We find broad, we fuck all the time. That's no problem. But to find somebody that you're willing to die, kill for, it's not a bunch of them around. So if you see a dude, he like, I'm on my third wife, I'm on my fourth wife, I'm on my fifth wife, like, there's no way this nigga could love all love, because there's no way a man gonna meet 5 different women he willing to die and kill for. Like, it doesn't work like that. He may can meet 2 in a lifetime. You know what I'm saying? He may can meet 2 in a one. But if he on his third wife, one of them wives he ain't love at all. He wasn't gonna put it all on the line for one of them. Maybe that, different story for different day. I'm just saying that to say this, like, it's more of a responsibility thing for us when we go into the realm of love, right? So we couldn't see our wives in a helpless state. If that 25%, if that type C brother, if that woman come off that horse, they're toast. If he can sleep good, right, with Gail, you know what I'm saying, and with Vivica Fox, if he can, that's why I respect T.I. so much. T.I., his old lady was on that horse, and T.I. was on foot. He couldn't sleep good with Tiny making the money. He couldn't do it. He grinded himself up. He became who he became. The beauty in seeing a brother come into the game and he transformed in front of our eyes, and we pick on T.I. sometimes because we be like, man, this nigga don't know if he want to be Malcolm X or a gangster. But a brother from Bankhead, though, and we just being honest, who come into the game with a trap music, then to try to get more political and and social later, and then to see this brother on stage trying to be a comedian, you can see, man, this was a beautiful brother from the beginning. You know what I mean? He just became these things as, you know what I mean? Like, that's some cold. Cause to be the shoot 'em up, bang bang trap star rapper, and you're a comedian now, shows you that you always had this vein in you. But you had a crust on you that you had around your heart, but that, you know what I mean? But I say all that to say this. I respect that brother though, because he wasn't just gonna be type C. He's like, I can't do it. Now you see he's the type A brother now. He said he don't let Tiny pay no bills. Everything is in his hand. It's easier to control and have a peace of mind when your family is in your hands. You're the greatest servant. You're the real captain now. El Capitan now. You Jefe now, beloved. You're Jefe now. So we'll leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? There's 3 types. All these types are beautiful brothers. They're strong. They're on their shit. There's none above. We're all servants. It pretty much comes down to your mentality. And for me, beloved, I got to have a rock in my hand. You know what I'm saying? This is my name. I don't split my name. We stand on our names. And I don't need no help with my name. I'm not raising my sons to get no help for it's their name. You know what I mean? If you need help, and we just talking, beloved. I won't want none of my nephews to split no bills. If you can't live in that spot by yourself, you're living above your means. You over your head, bro. I know you ain't saving no money. If you got to split, you ain't saving no money. I say it often on this podcast, beloved. Man, my desire is to have a 4,500 square foot home. 5,000 square foot home. That's my desire. Your brother VJ live in a 2,500 square foot home with a 3-car garage. Do you know why? This the motherfucker I can afford by myself. I don't need no help with this. I don't need no help with this. I can do this by myself. But we talked about this before. Taking ownership over your desires. Yo, check this out. Out of 24 years, my wife haven't worked a full year since we've been married. That don't change our quality of life. So being a type A man, there's pros and cons, right? One of your biggest pros is sometimes, man, I have friends and family members. They be like, "Yo, V, it looks like if you're not, it just look this way. Like I'm always going on vacation somewhere. I can move around a little bit more freely than a lot of other people because one, all my children are adults now. That's one. That's one thing. Two, my wife don't really work like that. Again, like I said before, she haven't worked a full year. She go to the job. If you say one thing wrong, she like, man, I'm out this motherfucker. She just be like that. You know what I'm saying? All right. So that's that. When it's time for me to go on vacation, it's just I put in for vacation, I can go. Cause I'm not trying to get me and then trying to get her off. When I get off, I can go. So I'm always going somewhere. I'm going here. I mean, shit, I just left to go to Nugget. Last week I was at the Golden Nugget for about 3 or 4 days. Cause I can just jump up and do that. You know what I mean? I don't have to, you know what I mean? Okay. When my baby brother got married, right? I think I told this story before. My baby brother got married. I was like, yo, I'm gonna tell you how this gonna work, because he proposed to her, everything. My sister-in-law, she real cool. She come out the medical field, right? She's dope. I was like, yo, I'm gonna tell you how this gonna work, because he stayed in the apartment. I say, shit, she gonna want to have children, blase, right? Shout out to my nieces and nephews, right? I said, she gonna want to have children, right? I said, but dig, this is how it's gonna work. When you go house shopping, they're gonna include her income. You know what I'm saying? She work at the hospital. They're gonna include her income and y'all looking for homes. I said, but I'm gonna tell you how Pops told me. So I'm giving him the game that my Pops told me. Now, me and my dad, we all in the wedding. My baby brother get married. We all got our tuxedos on. We in the wedding. Sure enough, they get married, and now it's time to go house shopping, right? I said, hey, dog, I'm gonna tell you again now. You better make sure wherever you stay, you can pay every bill in that motherfucker by yourself. I said, don't get into no splitting no bills and all that shit. I said, man, don't you do that shit. Don't get involved in that. My old man, we sitting right there. Okay. He go house shopping, and he didn't even tell his wife this. He wrote a number on a piece of paper, and he gave it to the realtor and said, hey, my house note gotta look like this every month. Whatever fucking house you find me, this is what I need to see every month. Cause he's adding up while they're looking at homes. They're using both of their income, but my bro already, he's not telling his wife this yet. He's not telling her, no, I'm looking for the house that I can pay for by myself. He's not gonna tell her that. They just house shop. He slide the number to the realtor. The realtor take him to some houses. He buy the house. They all good, right? Beloved, I can submit to you, it wasn't 4 months. It wasn't 4 months. No, it wasn't 4 months. Baby brother called me one night. He said, man, I'll tell you something. My wife just woke up and she just said, baby, I'm just so tired of this work shit. I don't want to go back to work no more. I don't want to deal with these crackers no more. I don't want to do that shit no more. And he said, baby, that's fine. He was so excited because he was like, bro, I'm so glad. Because he said, I would have been stuck. If I would have went out and got that house and that we gonna quote unquote split these bills, I would have been stuck. But because I bought the crib that I can pay for by myself and everything that comes with it, I don't have to be on my old lady about going to no job. But baby, if you don't work, sit your ass down. I don't care what you do. You ain't fucking gotta go. I don't care what you do. Because what you do doesn't affect our quality of life. And brothers, all I'm saying to you young nephews out there is, man, the easiest way to go is you find a spot that you can pay for by yourself. I don't care if she want to go out and get a car note. She can go get 30 cars and she pay for her own cars. Let her do that. But where you lay your head at, you pay for that. And I can assure you everything would be smooth after that. Do not go into things with fear, worrying about getting laid off, getting fired, getting hurt, because here's the reality of the matter. If everything is off your check, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine because you're going to have to do with the same thing the single man got to do. What is the single man going to do when he get laid off? What he gonna do? He got to have money to the side. Well, when you pay everything, you'll see organically you gonna have all this kind of money to the side too, because you got to pay everything. And everything is budgeted out. You know every penny, you know every luxury that you got to pay. Beloved, you'll be fine. Take it from your uncle now. Take it from your uncle. I wouldn't tell you nothing wrong. Peace and black power to your family. Yes. 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 Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys for hanging out. Beloved, this is indeed Real Black Power to the Form podcast. Hey man, it's your brother V, man. I'm gonna get there with you guys later. Peace, peace, beloved, and more peace.
Thanks for listening. Remember to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Google, Anchor, Spotify, and Facebook. Also, don't forget to like, share, and comment on the podcast. Your opinion of what you just heard is important to the platform. So yes, beloved, your comments are the engine and fuel to the machine. Stay blessed and have a powerful day.